Well, good morning. So I had another plan for this week, but then I changed my mind because I found some linen in my stash. So the original plan was to crochet a bunch of coasters for my sisters because they just moved into new homes recently, and I thought it would be nice to make them some little housewarming gifts. I'm still gonna do it, but just not on camera. Or maybe not yet. But my plan for this video is to make a dress out of linen. I don't have a pattern, but I have a lot of linen, and it's nice and it's green, and I'm gonna figure it out. I'll probably just draw up a little design and attempt to execute that. So let's get to it. Okay, so I'm gonna try to stay in frame while I do this. So let me just mark out a couple things. Yeah, okay. I should have done this at a table and not the coffee table. Okay, so how do I want this dress to look? I'm thinking tubular, like 1920s. So we'll start with just a basic tube. And then I like the square neckline, so we can just add maybe a couple little straps like that. Maybe do something like that and have this gathered. So that's pretty and allows for movement. And then I can get, we'll pretend this is the natural waist. And then I can get like couple little loops right here. And make a ribbon so I can tie that back and together. Maybe I'll change that so it curves just a little. Yeah, something like that. And I think with just my singular color of green, this will look really nice. And maybe I can add like a couple little buttons. Someone I go to craft group with at Temple gave me a bunch of really beautiful buttons that I've been itching to find a use for. So maybe this little dress will be a good way to use some of those. All right, so it's time to measure my hip. Get my hip measurement. That's the words I'm looking for. I'm wearing PJs under my skirt, so that's gonna add a little bit more than what my usual measurement is, but that's okay. Because I do want this to be a bit more of a looser and more adjustable type of dress. And if you're wondering where I'm measuring from, you always want to go with the extremes of like your body. So the biggest part of your boobs, the smallest part of your waist, and the biggest part of your hips. So that means on me, that looks about here. And you don't want to like pull it in tight. You want it a loose measurement. So I'm sitting at about 37 inches for my hip measurement. 37 inches plus 1 for seam allowance is 38 inches. And let's get drawn on some fabric. So I decided not to iron my fabric. It's fine. I'll regret this in a bit. Also, my fabric is very dark, so I can't use my marker or a pen. But I have contact crayons, and I think I've got, ooh, nice, got a white one. So let's get marking this up. Hello. So I put the tube on my dress form. I do have to make a couple adjustments, but one of them is I cut out this little bit for my flouncy hip line, I guess. I was thinking of doing this exact thing on the back as well, but now I'm thinking I might want to just have this little cutout thing right in the front and then cut the back to this height, just straight across, and I think that'll look nicer than my original plan. So ooh, look at that. I did so good. Does that look even? It looks even enough. That's fine. I'm not too worried about evening things out. So yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Ouch. The back is all going to be gathered. The hips are going to be gathered up until this point. They'll connect here. It'll look nice. I see it in my brain, and it's going to look great. And I have a lot of this linen, so I can play around and hopefully it doesn't turn to disaster. Hello. So this is a new fun angle. Yeah. So after yesterday, when I cut the back half of that skirt portion off, I immediately did nothing. I don't mean I did nothing the rest of the day. Like, I knit a little. I went and saw Argyle. That was a fun movie. But this morning, while my husband was in his many meetings, I sewed up the bodice bit, and I tried it on over my winter clothes. So it was a bit tight, but it got on, so, you know, came off easy. I didn't have to cut it or seam rip it or adjust my sizes too much. So that's good. What I'm going to do now is, I think my best course of action would be making my arm straps and getting the this top hem finished and, you know, raw edges hidden, and then I can play around with gathering the skirt part of this dress. Yeah, and then, you know, adding some buttons and some ties, and oh, actually I'm gonna add a couple like belt loops, I think, which would probably be the easiest way for me to do it, because I sewed this up. Belt loops. We're gonna do belt loops. Ooh. No, I can't do that. Never mind. Belt loops. That's what I've settled on. Okay. I'm gonna start sewing. Okay, so what do we think of this? I'm thinking this fits me good. A lot easier to put on without the sweater vest, so there's that. I used bias tape on the inside, so I put my straps facing the outer part of this garment, so keeping all of my seams on the inside. So I sandwiched my straps in between the back and the bias tape, and then I sewed it around, and then I flipped that inside out and just whip stitched right along. I've got these with pins right now because I will add buttons. I've got some really cute old buttons that were gifted to me, and I think I was looking through them and I found some really pretty clasp buttons that I think would look really nice with this. So, top part, done. Now, we cut out a big rectangle and we gather that in. So I think this bit is going to be a little bit difficult. Maybe. I'll try to cut the edges at a curve like this, so I can kind of pin those in place. And maybe I'll sew that right up straight first and then work on gathering everything in. I don't know. Well, I've finished another project, and I am so happy with this dress. It's so cute. My husband compared it to overalls, and honestly, yeah. That's kind of the vibe I think I'm going for with this. Just easy. I can toss it on over things. I can wear it by itself. I will not be wearing it by itself right now because there is still snow on the ground and I don't want to be cold. But it's linen, and you know, linen's a sturdy fabric. It's a breathable fabric, so this will be good in the warmer months too. What are you doing, silly boy? Oh, okay. The little boy has decided to visit us. Yeah. Actually, I don't think this is like clothing linen either because it's awfully sturdy, which is good for what I want it to be, but I don't know. I think technically this is more meant for like tablecloths or bed sheets or something. But since when do I pay attention to things like that? I don't. I just make what my little heart desires, and what my little heart desired right now was a dress that I could throw on over my sweaters and still feel awfully cute. Also, I was going to use like matching buttons, but then I decided the mismatching buttons of a similar size were cute, and I can pull this dress on and off without even undoing my buttons, so it's not strictly necessary for this, but I still like them. And that's the most important thing of this project. I like it. I had fun, and I'm gonna wear it a lot. So yeah. I don't know what I'll be doing for my next video, but when do I ever? Maybe I'll try knitting something else. Maybe I'll crochet something else. Maybe I'll sew something else. I don't know. I'll figure it out. And yeah, if you enjoy watching me craft and attempt to craft new things, if you like seeing my cats pop in and out sometimes, like that, consider subscribing or leaving a comment or a like or, something. And I'll see you in the next one.